Sunak finally concedes his biggest donor has said something racist. The Kate Photoshop story miraculously, magically becomes Meghan's fault, and we're going to start paying refugees £3,000 each to go to Rwanda. It's time for an alternative paper review. But first up to the Express, guys. Boris vows to campaign on Brexit freedoms. Well, that shouldn't take too long then, should it? I mean, here was I worrying it was going to be some long, drawn-out, endless, weeks or months-long general election campaign. But if you're going to centre it around our Brexit freedoms, guys... I mean, you took away our freedom of movement, our right to go and live and work in the other countries. I mean, what Brexit freedoms and successes are you going to campaign on? Please, I'm literally, physically all ears. I mean, aside from the infamous NHS bus, one of the big sells from Brexit was supposed to be it was going to free you up to take VAT off our energy bills. Whereas over here in objective reality, everyone's energy bills tripled. So yeah, I can't wait to see how they reframe it, how they try to sell this back to the Red Wall as some big Brexit success, Brexit freedoms. You know, what's he going to do? Like that horny albino yeti's going to bowl up to Dudley and Ashfield and Middlesbrough. He's going to be like, well, I know that you're all feeling the pinch. I know that it's tough. I do. But actually, if you think about it, it's probably a good thing. Because if you weren't paying obscene amounts of money to E.ON, to EDF, and like all of these big energy corporations, if they weren't looting the public purse by way of the energy price guarantee, if they weren't making that obscene profit over there, I mean, it'd probably be worse for UK growth, right? It's probably good for the economy. I mean, we're in recession now. We'd be in a really bad state if they weren't looting your current account. So I guess what I'm saying is thank you for chipping in to UK PLC, but also you're welcome. Over to the Times now. Rwanda plan will offer migrants £3,000 to leave. And this is, of course, the latest twist and turn to the Rwanda plan, the idea that we're going to ship society's most desperate off to a third world country. Now the big plan is, right, it used to be a deterrent. Do you remember that? It used to be like, we need Rwanda to be the deterrent, though it is also amazing over there, and don't be so bloody snobby about it. Now, I guess we've completely abandoned the fact that there's nothing wrong with Rwanda, and instead now we have to pay people £3,000 each to leave. I mean, Sunak is getting really desperate now, isn't he, for this flagship policy? He's so desperate to get one of these planes up in the air. I mean, I haven't seen a prime minister this desperate to get a plane to take off since the last time that Rishi Sunak himself had to commute 45 minutes. God, he's a tosser, isn't he?
Prince Andrew's a nonce burger.
Elsewhere in the formerly Great Britain, and indeed in Team Sunak, they've finally buckled to pressure and agreed that their donor was racist. Now, this is the story following The Guardian's expose the other day that the Tories' biggest donor, to the tune of £10 million, was heard on record in a conversation in 2019 suggesting that people like Diane Abbott would make you want to hate all black people, and that she should probably be shot. Now, Kemi Badenoch, who is Minister for Women and Equalities, was the first to publicly label the language that this individual used as racist, with Number 10 following shortly after. Which is weird, because normally it's the Prime Minister and Number 10 who set the tone and agree the government line, and then they brief it to their ministers, who then go and regurgitate it out like the shameless careerist ventriloquist dummies that they are. Whereas now, through a mixture of cowardice and callousness, Sunak has put himself on the back foot and allowed Kemi Badenoch to look like the leader. It is a bit weird though, because even though Badenoch does rebuke him and she does use the word racist, she's still actually quite forgiving. You know, it's not condemnation and we don't want to take donations from people who harbour those views. It's like, I welcome his apology, and some people make flippant comments without thinking of the context. You know, it's condemnation with a twist, isn't it? It's publicly rebuking somebody, but staying just short enough that you don't have to give them their 10 million back. Over to the Mail now. Just on the right here, Wills and Kate should come clean about what's really going on, or they'll drown in a quagmire of their own making. Oh, finally. The investigative journalists of the Daily Mail have finally caught up with the rest of us here in reality. It's nice to have you here, guys. We've been expecting you. Because I'm sure only a couple of days ago, everybody was saying this is all just conspiracy theory. Why can't you just give them some privacy? And of course, these appeals for privacy always coming from the exact same tabloid quarters who, when it was Harry and Meghan, they would be like, no, we pay and they pose. That's the contract. And to nobody's surprise, it's only taken about 36 hours for the rags to turn this somehow into Meghan's fault. Yeah. Apparently, we shouldn't be concerning ourselves or worrying ourselves with this artificially constructed image of Kate that uses a 2-year-old image of her face. We shouldn't be worried that there's been no new pictures of her. That the look of her, like, looking out the other side of the cut, like, nobody's seen her face for literally weeks. We shouldn't be worried that they're trying to pass off that photo as an amateur photographer when it's been decoded and they can see that it's professional cameras, professional lenses, professional lighting equipment. It was edited in an Adobe suite. We shouldn't be worried about any of that, guys. We should be focused on the fact that Meghan was airbrushed once or twice here and there. Like, that's where the story is. And you know what? You can tell there's something going on at the palace because the Telegraph normally have a picture of the royals on the front page. Like, every day it'll be like Charles cutting a ribbon. It'll be Kate wearing a polka dot dress. But now what have they got? Now where the royal coverage normally is, the royal speculation, you got what Jerry is telling us with her all-white wardrobe. Wow. Good stuff.